Welcome, 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 my fellow visionaries. Today is the bonus. So, yesterday was the finale. Little bittersweet, but it was good. Definitely some gems in there for me. So, today, as I promised, I have a few little bonus things. What I learned doing this 4-week challenge, it was crazy because I didn't even know that like it was just all in my head. I would see the charts and just boom, take a trade, buy, sell, buy, sell. And actually taking time to really journal it in this vlog was amazing to me because I learned so much. So, without further delay, I'm going to share with you guys what I learned. I think I have like 21 things. Yeah, I learned a lot. And that's just what I wrote down. So, let's go ahead and get started. Here we go. Every kingdom is shaped not only by its ruler, but also by those who faithfully serve the crown. Within these walls live individuals of remarkable character. Some strengthen the kingdom, others test it. Every one of them serves a purpose. Welcome, my fellow visionaries, to the royal kingdom. Okay, so number one, I learned that slow and steady wins the kingdom. You would think that, of course, you know that, but not until you put it in practice and you start doing the same thing over and over and over, you realize that you actually have to slow down to speed up. You have to slow down when it comes to trading to make progress. Now, I kind of think this may have been maybe one of my biggest lessons. I learned that slower is actually faster. For months, I would say I was obsessed with becoming financially independent as soon as possible. Every month, I would tell myself, in X number of months, I should have X amount of money. And I still feel that way inside. But I've learned by collecting data that that is actually not the right way. That just puts pressure on me. So I had unknowingly chained myself to deadlines that only existed inside of my head. Those expectations became shackles, and every month I felt like I was pushing a roller coaster uphill, forcing it to go faster, only to watch it go up, then watch it go down, around in circles. And that was the pressure that I put on myself. And it made every end of month feel heavier and heavier. And then, of course, something changed. I stopped trying to force the market to give me what I wanted. And I simply surrendered and started observing what I was willing or what the market was willing to give me. And that's when journaling completely changed my perspective. Instead of hiding from my profits and loss and not looking at them, which I did for months, I finally opened it. I studied it. I like really dug in. I studied not just the profits, not just the losses, but I studied and learned the rules. And to my surprise, I discovered something I hadn't been willing to see, that I was actually profitable. And not just for these 4 weeks, but for months. Crazy. The market wasn't my biggest obstacle, believe it or not. I was. So once I adjusted those behaviors, my income improved, my win rate improved, my emotional self governance score improved, everything improved. I remember dreaming about having enough freedom to take long, slow, carefree Sunday drives along the beach. And ironically, I was trading like I was racing go karts or something, always rushing, always forcing, always chasing. Instead of living today the way I hope to live tomorrow. Now, people often say that trading changes you, and I think that's only half true. Trading gives you the opportunity to change, but you have to be willing to become that person that you want to see. So that's number one. Number two, I will say I title number two, patience is the real flex. Not every day is a trading day. If I don't want to work a traditional 5 day work week, why was I trying to force trades to work every weekday? Sometimes the highest paying decision is to do absolutely nothing. So I had to embrace no trade days. That was hard. I will say that was hard until I actually looked at the numbers and realized that when I take bad trades, when I force trades, I'm actually setting myself back several days. So once I really started understanding it, it became easier. Number three, my definition of winning actually changed. I stopped measuring success by dollars, and now I measure success by my adherence to the royal rules of engagement. Am I really following my plan? Why have plan? Why collect data if you're not going to follow it? Now, if I followed my process, I saw that most of the time I was winning, and the times that I didn't, it was usually a clear reason. Um, the money, I will say, simply follows good directions or good decisions. So have a system, stick to it. Number four, discipline is built, not born. So this is where muscle memory comes in. Discipline isn't magic, it's a muscle. One good decision strengthens it, but one bad decision teaches it. Either way, it keeps showing up. So choose what you want to do. I learned that I want to continue following my system because it reinforced to the point that I gained confidence. Number five, losses are part of the business. Anyone who says that they don't take losses or never promote it or speak about it, I would do this. So losses are part of the business. It doesn't even phase me because I put a stop loss in place that I'm comfortable with. So when I take a loss, I just know, okay, let me go on with something else for my day, you know? And no trader wins every trade. Probability, because this market is based on probability, probability guarantees you are going to lose. And losses don't mean that you're failing. They simply mean that you're participating. That's it. You know, I would say a loss is if you didn't follow your system. Number six, data is gold. I just learned that. Journaling gave me something emotions never could. It gave me evidence. The more data I collected, the calmer I actually became. Confidence isn't building from hope, it's built from evidence. So the more I followed my checklist, the more I journaled, the more I saw cause and effect. The more I saw if I do this, this is the outcome. Here's the action, here's the reaction. And now I'm like, if I want to win, follow my system. Don't deviate. Number seven, I would say know your numbers. I would hide from my numbers. And because I always heard, like, don't look at your profit and loss, it's going to like make you want to gain more. And that was true. But at some point, I did have to actually look at my numbers and not just the profit and loss, but also my dashboard. Like, what was I really doing? How does the prop firm calculate what I'm doing? So I originally focused on profit targets, minimum trading days, and win rate. Today, the number that I care about most is my emotional self-governance score, the ESC, the stability score. And because the kingdom isn't about controlling the markets, it's about learning to govern ourselves. The more I govern myself, the more that ESC score comes in line. Number eight is trust the process. The royal rules of engagement became my foundation. It's a good system. It removes the guesswork from me. It allows me to repeat good behavior over and over and over and over again. And all that does is increase my probability. It gives me the edge and increases my probability of winning. Number 9, watch from the tower. The bell tower up there with Barry. Barry could see everything that was going on in the kingdom. I was like, how does he know this? How does he know that? Well, Barry has a really good view. So I learned that higher time frames changed everything. The higher I climbed, the clearer I could see. And perspective actually creates patience. When I look at all the different time frames from the daily, and what I watch is the daily, the 4 hour, the 1 hour, and I usually either enter on the 15-minute or I enter on the 1 hour. So that's what works for me based on my lifestyle, based on my patience level. So that's what works for me. I know some people who trade like strictly on the daily. That's awesome. But you probably get maybe one or two trades for the month, if that. So I like the 4 hour and the 1 hour. That's my sweet spot. Number 10, ride the wave. The market is not something you control. It's something to understand. It's something to watch and see how it flows. So I learned that there's waves. There's bullish waves, we call them trends. There's bearish waves, we call them downtrends. Learn to recognize them. And then when you do see them show up, don't force them. Wait for the waves to come and then just ride them. Number 11, don't believe my lying eyes. Wait for confirmation. Queen Victoria would say, we don't trade fairy tales. My eyes sometimes see what they hope will happen, and we evidence that in one of my episodes. But confirmation tells me what is actually happening. And based on evidence, that's how we win. So watch for the waves, but wait for confirmation. Number 12, and oh my goodness. Number 12 is trade one thing, whether it's one peer, one instrument, whatever it is. To, I have to say, at one point in my trading journal, I traded 17 currency pairs at a time. 17, 1, 7, 7. Okay. I thought the more charts that I had open, the more opportunity I had. Now I compare the one instrument and I trade gold. I have traded a few other things. US 30 goes too fast, NAS, and maybe that's just at the season, but gold is like a spouse to me. Well, not really a spouse, like it's not that serious. But one instrument, one peer, imagine it like a relationship with a spouse. You really have to learn the personality, its likes, its dislikes, its habits, its temperament. You've got to learn how to know how it moves. And so when you actually do see the chart do something, like, hey, I've seen this 100 times before, you know. Um, I would say that one relationship, if that's the one that's going to get you to where you want to go, it deserves my attention. I could never go back to 17 again. Player card turned in. Number 13, cross-examine every trade. This is something, Lord Percy, um, we spoke about. And some of my trades, they were literally trying to sink my battleship. And I learned to, usually we're looking at trades like, oh my gosh, this lines up with this. And we can find a million reasons why we should take the trade. But I started learning to cross-examine the setup. Is it really, because there's always going to be reasons why you shouldn't take the trade. So I started cross-examining, and sometimes I would say, you know what? The defense attorney wins. I'm out. I'm sitting out. So now every trade, it must survive my cross-examination before it earns permission to enter the battlefield. Number 14, find your best time to trade. This is a big one. I thought that, oh, the markets are open 24 hours, 5 days a week. I can trade whenever I want to trade. Wrong. Find what time is good for you and maybe based on what other things you have on your schedule. And I won't say there's any best time to trade. A lot of it depends on what you as a trader want. Every session, I will say know your sessions. Every session can move a little different. New York works great for gold. But you can also get in on some good setups in Asian, so it is a global market. So you're going to have activity in each market. I do believe New York brings the volume. I believe Asian is kind of like a sleepy session, but you can get some good trades in there. And I like it not better. I like it because you don't have the issues with the news so much. So almost none. Um, so my preference again is New York session. That's based on my availability. I'm not saying Asian is wrong. It simply isn't where I perform my best. Although if I'm up late one night, I will hit some Asian sessions. Um, as I mentioned, it's all about you as a trader. So knowing yourself is part of your edge. Number 15, know the rules. So I finally stopped pretending that I understood everything. And sometimes hold on, someone is texting me. Sometimes when we don't understand things, we tend to avoid it. So dig in deeper. If you don't understand some of the rules, like get in there, dig in deeper, ask people, question it. Whatever broker you're using, they usually have like a little chat, talk to me. Get in there and ask, get a live person because the chat bot, it will lie to you. It will give you contradictory things. So talk to a live person. And I would say once you finish with that chat, that dialogue, save it. Because when you get to the end of your challenge, you may need that conversation if for some reason you get declined on your payout. So definitely understand the rules. So once you have that knowledge, knowledge is power. So I asked question after question until I genuinely understood my broker's rules. And then one of the big things that I gained from that is now that I had confidence and I understood, even though it took a loss for me to dig in, once I understood it, then my confidence became even better because I had more clarity. All right, number 16, remove temptation. This was something that I learned early in this challenge, and I had to exercise that muscle because I think if you have the charts open, you are going to be tempted to trade. Everything looks like candy in a candy store. So when the session ends for me, one of the things I do, close the laptop, and I intentionally had to find some other activity that would keep my interest. So I actually would look forward to, oh, when I finish trading, I can start on my diaries. And that was exciting to me. But if you don't have anything, you might be tempted to just keep opening that laptop. Let me check, let me check. But because I got into another activity, I wasn't so tempted to open the laptop and see what was going on. So I would say find a way to protect yourself from unnecessary temptation. And that next opportunity, it'll always come. So don't feel like, oh my gosh, I've got to get this next trade. Nope. Wait, the wave will come again. Number 17, know when enough is enough. So I have learned that I don't need every move. I don't need every slice of the pie. If I did, I would be looking like a little roly poly. So learn when enough is enough. And if you just stay consistent and you get one trade, I won't even say every day because you're going to have no trade days. But if you get a trade and then the next day is a no trade day, and then you get one trade, and then maybe one trade one day sets you back, eventually you're moving forward. And so be grateful with what the market gives you and don't sit there because you can make profit and then you overtrade and end up giving it right back. Number 18, I had to learn be more selective. Again, I believe the higher time frame that you trade on is the more selective your trades can be, the more they get filtered out. So I learned also that taking less trades um, dramatically reduce my losses. So when they say less is more, it really is. So I would say be more selective. Number 19, keep life bigger than trading. This is a big one. I'm going to slow down here. Sometimes when we get into trading or learning to trade, we tend to like trade, like we want to zone in, shut everything out and just learn. I am guilty of that, happily guilty. But as I'm coming out on the back end, I'm learning now that I'm learning trading so I can live my life. Make sure that your life and your human connections and whatever you do on the outside is more fulfilling than the adrenaline that you get from trading. Okay. Because when you don't, sometimes people let trading become the end all be all. And then when trading doesn't go well, or they have a bad day, a bad week, a bad month, whatever it might be, then they start looking crazy. So make sure that your life is bigger than trading. Okay. Number 20, have fun. Trading isn't the oxygen. Remember to smile, to laugh, to enjoy the process. This journey is supposed to build a life, not consume your life. So have fun with it. I did that this 4 weeks in my 4 week challenge. And it was fun just creating characters. It was fun doing these journals. It was fun learning how to edit them and still not perfect at it. But overall, it was just fun doing it. And it took the stress off of, oh my gosh, I've got to win. I've got to meet this deadline. I've got to do this. No, I don't. No, I don't. Mm-mm. Have fun. And last but not least, number 21, I label this one Build a Kingdom. So this may be the most unexpected lesson of all for me. I thought I was creating a trading journal, but instead I actually created a whole kingdom in my mind. It was a place where I could make mistakes without shame, without beating myself up, where discipline grew through just grace, carrying myself as Queen Victoria. The characters, they help me understand myself, like Reckless Ricky. That really is me. I was like 20 trades in one day. That was me. And I don't think Reckless Ricky is dead by any means. He has evolved. But if I start to feed him again and start to go rogue with my system, oh, Reckless Ricky, he's somewhere in the corner, maybe pouting, but he will come back. So all of these were characters that started to come alive. Um, I would say where self-governance matters more than perfections. If you ever felt alone in your trading journey, I just want to say to you all that give yourself grace. I do plan to continue these episodes. I don't know how often because it was a lot of work. But I will continue to do them based on hopefully consistently throughout the weeks, but I will also balance with my life. So if you ever want to connect, you can always message and hopefully I'll see the messages. But I'm sure other people will message too. But I just want you to know there's room here for you in the kingdom. There's no judgment. There's only self-governance. Like you know what to do. If you haven't like taken a class. I took a class many years ago for a few months, and then the rest I just kind of learned from watching different traders online and just really getting into the market. And of course, my guide was the one they call the Candlestick Bible. Like I read that, I learned it. And then I read a bunch of trading books, Trading in the Zone, One Good Trade. And I just would read them and listen to them over and over and over and over. And a lot of times people are saying the same thing. And so it started to like, I could feel if I wasn't following good advice. So my biggest thing I would say, my biggest takeaway is, again, as Queen Victoria would say, did you govern yourselves? So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this 4 week challenge with me. It was awesome for me. It was fun. Um, I got a chance to fine tune my system, my rules, my royal rules of engagement. And I'm just going to continue doing what I'm doing. And I suspect in the near future, my present Tuesdays will look so much like the future Tuesdays that I imagine. And actually, they are starting to look like that. So, anyway, thank you all for joining me on this journey. And as always, be blessed.